Why did a trusted priest rape and impregnate a teenage girl? And how did her own parents end up betraying her in the most unthinkable way? This chilling true crime case will reveal the haunting answers. November 15th, 2018. Rural Kerala, India. Father Robin, a revered Catholic priest, held a position of immense trust and influence. But behind the veneer of his piety, a dark secret festered. It began with his mentorship of a 16-year-old girl, the daughter of poor farm laborers. Eager to guide her towards a brighter future, Father Robin's attention soon turned predatory. Exploiting his authority and the family's unwavering faith in the church, he systematically groomed and ultimately raped the vulnerable teenager. The consequences of his actions were devastating. The young girl found herself pregnant, her dreams and innocence stolen. Yet in a cruel twist, Father Robin used his power to manipulate the girl's family, convincing them to take the blame and hide the truth. Torn between protecting their daughter and the fear of societal shame, the family was coerced into compliance. The church, driven by a desire to preserve its reputation, also turned a blind eye, prioritizing its own image over the innocent life that had been destroyed. As the story slowly unraveled, the community was forced to confront a heartbreaking reality. The very institution they had trusted to guide them had betrayed them, and a young girl's life had been shattered in the process. February 2019, Kerala courts. In a rare moment of justice, the Indian legal system finally caught up with Father Robin. Convicted under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, he was sentenced to 20 years of rigorous imprisonment. The ruling sent a clear message. No one, not even a man of the cloth, was above the law. Yet, as the dust began to settle, a new and unexpected turn of events unfolded. The girl's parents, still torn by cultural expectations and a desire to restore their family's honor, petitioned the Supreme Court, seeking permission to marry their daughter to her former abuser, the very man who had roped and impregnated her. This astonishing twist left many questioning the depths of the trauma and the complex psychological toll the ordeal had taken on the young victim. Had she been driven by a genuine desire to move forward, or had she been pushed to the brink, trapped in a cycle of shame and isolation that offered no other path? As the case of Father Robin and his young victim continued to unfold, it became a haunting testament to the power of betrayal, the weight of cultural norms, and the devastating consequences that can arise when faith, honor, and justice collide. March 2019. As the disturbing details of the case emerged, the Catholic Church was forced to confront its own failings. Pope Francis, the spiritual leader of the Church, swiftly intervened, taking the extraordinary step of dismissing Father Robin from the priesthood. This decisive action sought to send a clear message that even the most revered figures were not immune to the consequences of their actions. Yet the Church's response remained mired in controversy. Despite the conviction and defrocking of Father Robin, the institution's handling of the case continued to raise eyebrows. Allegations surfaced that the church had attempted to minimize the priest's culpability and shift the blame onto the young victim, further compounding the family's trauma. June 2019, Supreme Court of India. The most shocking twist in this tragic saga came when the girl's parents, driven by a desire to preserve their family's honor, petitioned the Supreme Court for permission to marry their daughter to her former abuser. In a move that left many aghast, they argued that this union would secure the welfare of their child, even after the heinous act he had committed. The young victim, now navigating the complex aftermath of her ordeal, found herself caught between the weight of cultural expectations and the deep scars of her betrayal. Had she been coerced into accepting this proposal, Or did she genuinely believe it was the only way to reclaim a sense of normalcy in her shattered life? As the case unfolded, it became a sobering reflection on the power of social stigma, the burden of shame, and the distorted priorities that can emerge when honor and justice collide. The family's decision, driven by a desire to restore their reputation, highlighted the profound impact that cultural norms can have on the most vulnerable members of society. The story of Father Robin and his young victim served as a stark reminder that the path to true justice is often paved with complex challenges, where the search for accountability must contend with deeply rooted societal pressures. It was a tragedy that shook the foundations of a community, exposing the cracks in a system meant to protect the innocent. In the aftermath of this harrowing case, the question remained: how could a trusted figure of faith abuse his power so egregiously? And how could a family be driven to such desperate measures in the face of societal shame? The reverberations of this betrayal would continue to be felt, serving as a sobering call to examine the vulnerabilities that exist within communities where trust and reverence have been so deeply eroded. As the world watched, unable to avert its gaze from the unfolding events, it became clear that the story of Father Robin and his victim was not just a local tragedy, but a universal cautionary tale, a testament to the enduring need to prioritize justice, compassion, and the protection of the most vulnerable, even in the face of overwhelming cultural pressure.